In today's video, we take our 51 Buick that just a few days ago I was sure was going to end up as a parts car. And we transform it through hard work, mechanical repairs, and appearance changes into a thing of beauty. You gotta see this. Come on along. For those of you that might have missed the Will It Run video, I'm going to do a really quick recap. This is a 51 Buick two-door sedan. Really neat body style. It was a restoration project that was started and then never finished and just sat outside for a very long time. It needs a lot, but it runs now and it moves, I think. Never actually drove it, but I think it would move. The interior at one time was pretty funky. It's got this bluish purplish material on the front and rear seat. The carpet at one time was replaced. It's shot now. But this car has a lot of potential. It's intact. It's not too rusty. But it needs some things. The original color looks like that blue, which is a really cool color. But it needs some things. First and foremost, it has no brakes. So I'm going to be addressing that. It has no fuel system. It's going to be addressing that. I need to do something about lights, tires, and I'm going to wire up an alternator. If you've been trying to do that to your own car or wondering how that's done, I'm going to show you how to wire up an alternator in an old car like this with 2 wires. So we got cool stuff like that to do. And I've got to get some wheels and tires for it. So it's going to be fun. So why am I doing this out here and not in the shop? A couple of different reasons. First and foremost, the shop has got a lot of projects in it. But secondly, this thing has no brakes and no park. There's no way to stop this. So short of loading it on a trailer, bringing it down to the shop and unloading it, there's no other way to move this thing around. What I'd rather do is fix the brakes right here and then move it to the shop. I've already got the master cylinder done. I did that when I got it running, but the brake cylinders and the brake hoses are shot. So I'm gonna jump right in and do those first. This hub looks like it's been well maintained in here. The grease is fresh. Cotter pin came right out. Bearings were a little tight, but if that's what it worked for it, that's what worked for it. Super important to keep all of this really clean. It's a little bit of a challenge when you're outside. So even though it rolled really well, this hub is stuck to the brake shoes. So it looks like I'm gonna have to get out a hammer and do some persuading. Drum looks good. Slight wear. Nothing that scares me. Got some brake parts that fell out with the drums. No problem. That's almost expected, really. The shoes are shot. Yeah, these front shoes are junk. And this seal was leaking, and I'll show you what that looks like. This is the rear of the front brake drum, and you can see there's a bearing in here, and this piece here is a seal. It's called a grease seal, and that's to keep the bearing grease from coming out. When they go bad, this is what happens. You get grease all over the place, and in this case it's been leaking a long time. It's got grease everywhere. So that also has to be addressed. But again, no problem. I'll be inspecting those bearings to see if they're any good. If I look at the brake cylinder itself, I'm expecting these to be shot. Although, you know, it's quite possible that when the restoration was started on this thing, these were replaced. But that was so long ago, they're probably still junk. Yeah, see that powdery stuff coming out? That's essentially crystallization of moisture coming in contact with brake fluid. So these have had it, and I knew they weren't working anyway. Yeah, so these have to go. But again, I expected that. But check out the shoes. It's just gone up here. These shoes have had it. Other than that, though, things look decent. Not too much to complain about in here. No bad rust. I bet this self-adjuster even still turns. But I definitely have to do something about those shoes. My job at hand, though, is get this hose replaced right here. It's hard as a rock. And it's going to be a problem. And this brake cylinder replaced. Almost always, the brake line going into the brake hose is going to be stuck. If you force it, you break the line off. So what I like to do is heat it up and see if the line will crack loose. Be very careful here. Cut the brake hose first because it will explode once it gets hot. I got it. It was that simple. Just a little bit of heat, a little bit of penetrating oil, and it popped. So that's great news. Now the rest of this is going to be cake to get out. So this is all nice and loose now. So then I'm just going to take this hose out from here, from the clip. Once it's done, I'll just leave it attached to this brake cylinder and just pull the brake cylinder out this way. The new shoes have arrived, and they're the wrong ones. These are way too wide, probably 3/8 to a 1/2 inch too wide to fit inside the drum. So that's a bummer. Compare it to these. I mean, the difference is easily seen. So what am I going to do? I guess I'm going to put the brake cylinder and the hose in, re-grease the spindle, and then put it back together with these old pads until the new ones come in. Because I want to get this car out of here and into the shop. Getting cold out here in Tennessee. All right, we got one side done. It's a shame I'm gonna have to take it all apart again. But at least it's in there so I can bleed it, move it around after I get done the passenger side, which is where I am moving to next. This drum is being a bear. It's probably because there's grooves in the drum and they've caught the brake shoes. But it's coming. My backup plan, if I can't get this off quickly, I'm going to use a hub puller on it. The problem with using one of those is it often breaks some internal brake parts, but I've got a small parts kit for this car, so if something breaks, I can just replace it. Okay, I got it. You can see how this is still in place here. That's good. This side, of course, came apart, but I've got parts to fix that. Otherwise, the brake shoes look good. The drum, as I suspected, is very scored. That's why the shoes were hanging up. There's a big groove right there. And this shoe is grooved, both of them are, in and out. So they were gripping these two grooves. So these, both drums have to be turned. These shoes need to be replaced. Initial review of the bearing races looks okay, but I'm just getting into it. Let's check the wheel cylinder. I'm sure it's no good. It's not actually leaking any powder, but I'm here to change it. I'm gonna change it. Could be worse for sure, but it's not great. It would really help if I had the right shoes. You see how narrow these are? They're like the other side, and they're just completely different than what I have. So what I bought at the parts store and what Rock Auto specifies is not right for these drums. So I'm not sure what's going on here. I guess I'm gonna have to do some research, because these shoes are super narrow and the wide ones just won't work with these drums. There's not enough surface on these drums for the shoes to catch on if I use the wide ones. They stick way out here. All right, let me get after this and I'll get back to you. You gotta be careful, all that extra planes, the penetrating oil, you gotta be careful that you watch it and make sure nothing else catches fire. Stop a couple of times to see. And I'm gonna show you a tool later in this video that you may really like, that alleviates the need for the torch in a situation like this. So stay tuned for that. I'm just putting a little bit of heat on it, not enough to blow the hose. And the reason that it's so penetrating oil is making so much flame for so long is that it's gotten into the dirt around the fitting, and that's causing it to stay burning longer than it would normally. So let's see what happens here. See how the left side is turning? We can't have that, because that will snap this line off. So what I'm gonna have to put the camera down, cut the brake hose, heat this up more, and then break it free. I'm also gonna put a wrench on here to keep this from moving. So it doesn't help that that's moving, but that's not the problem. The problem is just the line is seized to the fitting. Oop, wait a minute. Does it move? Yeah, I'm gonna have to put the phone down to be sure, but it might be moving. Yeah, it freed up. Beautiful. So I barely had to heat it. Okay, wonderful. So next step is, this is coming off. I'm gonna leave the hose attached to it. Take this clip out here, pop that up, and this whole thing is gonna come out. So this brake cylinder on the passenger side, the reason I didn't see the powder was because it's leaking. It's leaking on both sides. So it kind of trapped the powder in there, but you can see it there on the right. So this one was junk. It was also seized, but otherwise, things look good in here as far as where it mounts and all that. I'm going to clean all this up and put the new one in. Okay, passenger side is done. New hose is in. New cylinder's in. Bummed out that I'm going to have to take all this apart again to change the shoes, but I need to figure out where to source some shoes from. And I need to move this before I can do that. I also notice while I'm under here, look at that curve on that drag link. I don't think that's factory. I don't know if you can see that. It's quite curved. So I'm gonna have to look at that too. That looks like it may have been, somebody might have grabbed it when they towed this car or something. Okay, one more thing on the list. And we've got brakes. We've got excellent pedal. Excellent. Now we're only working on the fronts, but I'll take it. For moving around the yard, it's fine. Now that we have brakes, next up is to get this thing moving, driving, and into the shop so I can do a bunch more stuff. Stay tuned.
Richard, we have brakes, but so he's coasting down into the shop. That's the fastest this car has went in probably who knows how long. You made it! I said that's the fastest that car's went in who knows how long.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Can you chuck the rear wheel for me?
Yeah.
The 51 is back in the shop. I'm going to take another shot at that transmission, among other things. I hate to lose. I hate to give up. This car has so much potential, but if you can't get it out of drive or reverse, it's a big problem. So I've got a plan. These Dynaflows, which this car has, are very sensitive to position of the back of the transmission. Not only is up and down important, but front to back is important. There's actually two mounts. One's called the thrust mount that handles front to back, and then the regular transmission mount that's up and down. I know for a fact, and if you watched the last video, you know the transmission mount is completely shot. The transmission is way down where it should be in back. I've got a new transmission mount. I'm gonna put it in. Will that help the linkage issue? It might, you never know. These are very odd transmissions, and the way they connect to the drivetrain is very odd. I looked at the Dynaflow service manual, and the first thing it says when you've got shifting issues with the column shift is check the mounts. So I might as well give that a try and we'll see what happens. This here is one of the mounts for the transmission right there. And this is called the thrust mount, and it controls like the forward and back pressure that this connection called the torque ball right here puts on the transmission, and vice versa. That looks okay. That's way better than the one that was on the 49, and I replaced that one. That one was completely shot. But the mount is terrible. So I am not going to replace this thrust mount. Well, doesn't look as good as I thought it did, actually. No, it looks pretty bad. See that gap? That's not supposed to be there. Okay, so this is bad too. I don't have a thrust mount right now, so I'm gonna try just the trans mount to start. But that thrust mount may need to be something else that has to go. That's the new mount in the bag. That's gotta be 2.5 inches tall, at least 2 inches. So we're losing all of that height with no mount being in place. The new mount's in, see it right tucked up in there? And very interesting with the mount in, the gap right there is gone. Kind of looks like it's still there, but it's not. That's very interesting. So raising the transmission up as high as it did closed the gap in the thrust bushing. So I may not have to add shims there, but I won't know until I try this. But it'd be nice, but it's in. You can see, look at the height difference. That's way up there compared to having nothing. The installed height difference is a full 1.5 inches compared to where it was. And for a Dynaflow, that's a lot. Another thing the mount corrected was the alignment of the torque tube in the frame. It was way over here before, and it brought it back quite a bit. Not all the way, but quite a bit. Because it was nearly hitting the frame right there before. This is what's left of the old mount. Absolutely no rubber insulator at all. These two are just falling on top of each other with time. Probably the original mount, who knows? But it goes to show you how far off it was from where it should have been. So this is a big moment. The transmission mount is in. It's in park. We have the rear wheels up off the ground. And basically the test here is we're gonna fire this thing up and see if the rear wheels spin in park. And if they do, well, that's not good. If they don't, then maybe it's that mount fixed it. So I've got the gas hooked up here. Going to give it a little shot. You know, the way this car is, it usually fires right up. I'm gonna hook up the trigger, like so. Hook up the ignition. Give it a squirt of gas. The choke is closed, I don't like that. I'm gonna prop this choke open a little bit. I'm not sure why. Oh, okay, there it goes. All right, so we're gonna try it. It's this car usually fires right up. And of course, once it gets running for a couple of seconds, it'll build pressure in the transmission, and we'll see if those rear wheels are spinning. Gotta love these hoods. other side turning?
Yes. It stopped now. Yes. Oh wait, no. It stopped.
Going backwards now?
It's not doing anything now. Now, well, no. Do you have the brake on? It's starting to move.
That's weird. Now what's happening now? Seems like it's in park. It's close to it.
Is that moving over? Oh, okay.
I'm not in park, but it might be in neutral. Now that's in gear, right?
What?
Is it spinning?
No.
No.
No. Yes.
Well, that's promising. It appears to have neutral now, so maybe I can adjust the linkage. That's better. Yeah, that's better. Because these Dynaflows, well, even in neutral, they might creep a little. How that tire's moving a little bit, a Dynaflow might do that, even though it's in neutral, because the wheels are off the ground. So, that's promising. Seems like we've got neutral.
So tell us again, just in case we didn't hear.
Yeah, so it's better for sure. Now I might be able to adjust it because we had reverse, right? It was going backwards. Did you ever see that? No?
Maybe once.
Yeah, I only put it in reverse once.
Okay.
So reverse on these is all the way to the bottom. So it appears I've got that. Park obviously is all the way to the top. So I might be able to get park back and still keep reverse. We had no park, no neutral before. So the fact that we've got that, things are definitely better. So I'm going to go to the external linkage now on the transmission and see if I can adjust park back into it. It'll be easy to do. I won't even have to start it. You'll know. I'll just try to twist the wheels. If they don't move, then it's in park. Here's the adjustment for the linkage. We have all this travel here. So I think what I need to do is shorten that travel. Let's see, when you put it in park, it pulls this up, which pulls this forward. We have a lot of play in this too. So if I shorten the travel, it's more likely to get me in park. I've adjusted the linkage up as much as I can. Basically, the shift linkage from the transmission is pulled as far forward as it can, and there's no more adjustment left for me to shorten it. The rear wheels are still turning, so I don't think I have park. But what I am going to do is fire it up, see if I've lost reverse. Remember, reverse is all the way down. So if I still have reverse, I think I'm going to leave it like that. And if I don't, I'm going to put it back the way it was. It does. So that's about where I ended up. It has full range all the way forward to all the way back in that position. The alignment on the shifter inside is right. That's as good as it gets. I'm going to try that and see how that works. But I think the real test will be a drive. I'm pretty much figuring I'm not going to park, but I need to drive it and make sure that I have neutral. It's kind of hard to tell with the drag that these Dynaflows have, but let's fire it up one more time and see what happens. This thing starts so good, it's crazy. Unbelievable. All right, let's see what we got here. Well, this is not good. We're in park right now. That's quite a bit of drag that it didn't have before. Let's see if we've got reverse. That's definitely not good. Now that's driving. I did hear it. Oh yeah, okay. You probably can't hear that, but the engine RPM is changing. Drive, low, reverse. Yeah, so we've got reverse. We've got, let's see how much drag this is. Yeah, that's good, that's solid. Might be running out of gas here. Did I turn the gas on? No, that was stupid. Okay, fire that back up once more. Okay, so we've got reverse. And I think we've got neutral. Because, listen to the difference in the engine RPM. Hear that? That's pretty noticeable. Cool. So I think we've got neutral. Awesome. All right, so we got neutral, we got low, we got drive, we got reverse. I'm good with that. I'm gonna leave it the way it is. We don't appear to have park, but I'll have to live with that for now. But this drag, you know, like I was saying earlier, Dynaflows can do that. It'll creep. That's a lot more than I expected. But you can stop it. So, okay, good. Let's move on. I'm jumping in here for a sec to talk about something that's super important to Christina and I, and that is subscribers. Our subscriber count just hasn't been that great. The beginning of the year, we set goals, and we haven't even come close to meeting them. We need your help. A lot of our viewers, like most other channels, watch and don't subscribe. I know, especially on a TV, it's kind of a hassle to subscribe, but I'm really imploring that you do so. I need our subscriber count to come up in order to keep the channel healthy. So if you could subscribe, we would greatly appreciate it. Thank you. Next up is this interior. Christina's going to tackle this, and I don't envy her. It's terrible. Dirty, stuff all over the place. It's just plain gross. And this carpet, oh, it's so bad. So she's going to jump right into this while I'm continuing with other mechanical repairs.
Let's get started. Oh, come on. I hate when trash bags do this. Come on. No, you can't get them apart. Oh, this is so disgusting. Oh my gosh. Ooh. So we just need to take this carpet out.
Does it come out? Or?
Yeah, it's halfway out. It's got mold all over it. And it needs to come out. It can't be salvaged. It's too bad. Part of this broke off. I think it goes to that. I guess it was underneath there as a stopper. Or...
Yeah, somebody did a that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody did a nice job when they did the carpet. It was just a million years ago. Looks like the mat is still under here.
I noticed that.
Well, we can maybe salvage that and just leave that in place. Floors are bad, bad, bad.
Yeah, when I was in there steering to get it into here, I told you as soon as I got in there, I could tell that the floor on the driver's side, I felt like I might fall through. You were able to move the seat up.
Huh?
Said you were able to move the seat up.
Yeah.
That never happens.
That's shocking.
Normally that's so rusted. I know.
Shocking given the condition of this car. Oh yeah, that makes it a lot easier. There's the mount right there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. I don't think it's attached under the back seat.
No, it usually isn't.
Good.
This is bad.
Now you know why I said, can we just take some of it out? Because it's dangerous to be in there too long with that, I think.
Look at how nice the fabric was at one time.
At one time.
This was somebody's baby. And something happened. Hope there's nothing alive in here.
I don't know. Did a mouse house go up in there?
Something did. Yeah. I think I'm just going to take this back seat out. It's just hanging there.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is a valuable piece of trim right there.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. That's the back part of the sweep spear. And that is in really nice shape. Woo-hoo-hoo.
Does that mean it's bad underneath?
Holes.
In the floor?
Yeah.
Oh, no. You know, I kind of think
I kind of
this is way worse than we thought.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you right now, it's way worse than we thought.
Oh, yeah, I see. Oh, wow.
That's an odd place for a hole.
Yeah, and you know, it continues through there all the way to here.
Whoa, look at that.
Oh, my. Wow. Oh, I wonder what we're going to find on the other side.
Wow. So this is going quickly from resto candidate to parts car.
Yeah.
Probably parts for the sweep spear.
Well, the seats. I think the seats might be...
The seats as cores, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got.
Not great.
Still have a lot of holes over there.
Yeah.
That's kind of a normal area right where the feet go. Gosh, I don't know, babe. Well, what do you want to do? You want to get the rest of the carpet out and vacuum it up and see what we have to work with?
And floor plans, you know, they're not the end of the world. If I can get this transmission working, now that it's got brakes, if these floor pans need to be replaced, it still can be done.
Mm-hmm.
The frame is very good on this car. So we're going to continue with it.
You might need that red light. Do you see it?
Yeah, I'm going to use that for the alternator wiring.
Look at this.
What is that? A piece of steel?
Well, it's so
Yeah,
thin.
that's the floorboard.
It's so thin. I would have never put that in there.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, the light is so bad in here, but it's hilarious how thin that is.
It's almost like flashing.
It's like a tin pack.
Yeah, it's like a huge piece of flashing.
Okay, this is funny. Can you see that?
Oh, yeah.
I think this is from a refrigerator or something.
Maybe.
The back of it? Do you see it?
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. A Mickey Mouse thing like that, yet they spent big money on these seats.
I guess that's why they didn't have any money left after the seats.
Yeah.
Ooh. Starting to come alive. It looks great. It's starting to really shine. Get it? Shine. The dash has been cut and the chrome polished. And I think it already looks like $100. So I can only imagine how much it's going to shine up after a coat of wax. I think that's going to look fantastic. Here's my question for you. If you only had $100 in 2 days, besides the floor, so not counting the floor, what would you do to make this car look more presentable inside? 2 days and $100. I would like your opinions. Share them with me in the comments. I'll tell you what I would do. Well, of course, the rest of that nastiness needs to come down. That doesn't cost anything. So I think I would spend about $50 on some decent vinyl. Nothing crazy expensive, nothing super cheap. And I would just recover the doors, both of those, and the back panels. I would recover those. I think I could do that if it was one color of vinyl, $50, pretty easy. I think I would then, I'd probably have enough vinyl left over to cover those, to cover that. And that would leave me $50. So what would you do with your remaining $50? Let me know. I'd like your opinion.
So pardon the noise in the background. It's raining like crazy outside. But I can't stop. I've got a schedule to make. So what we're going to do now is the alternator. Look at this nice alternator someone put in this car. Looks real good. Brand new. But they never wired it. Look at, they created this nice custom bracket to mount it to the straight 8. And they never wired it. Well, we're going to take care of that today. So I'm going to show you how to do it with a conventional alternator you can buy at any parts store, cheap, and wire it in with 2 wires. Let's talk for a second about what this thing does. Well, it creates electrical energy to power the car once the car's running. And it can vary the voltage to the battery that it needs. And in order to do that, it needs to understand what the car's needs actually are. So a lot of times you'll hear talk about 1-wire alternators and such, and they're super easy to wire up. You can wire them up with 1 wire, not 2. Why not use one of those? Well, they're not as good at sensing the car's needs, and that's a bit of a problem. The first thing you want to do is disconnect the battery. This is the voltage regulator right here. Very typical on an old car. These will be used right up until alternators were implemented, which for General Motors I believe was 63. But you can see all these wires right here having to do with it. None of those are going to be used when we're done. And this regulator may be smaller on newer vehicles, early 60s, when the generators themselves went to 12 volts. This car originally had a 6-volt generator, and this is a 6-volt voltage regulator. None of that's going to be used anymore. We have 3 posts we're worried about here. This is the main post. This is the output of the alternator. This post supplies the voltage to the car. You often see a rubber boot over it so that nothing touches it because it can be a short. This you want to run to the battery, and you want to use some heavy wire there. On an old car like this, you can get away with 10 gauge, and that's what I'm going to use for this guy. But on newer vehicles, it may be better to go with 8. Newer meaning even in the 60s when they have air conditioning and power windows and things like that, it may be better to go with 8 gauge. But I'm going to go with 10. And it's very simply, I'm going to run this back to the battery. But that's just one terminal we have to worry about. There's 2 more. And these 2 side-by-side terminals like that tell you that this is an internally regulated alternator. If you have an externally regulated alternator, then this part of the video is not for you. And you will need a separate voltage regulator, but almost nobody does that today. These came out in '73 for General Motors, and they've been the standard since. But you'll know if this is a externally regulated alternator because these pins will be on the back and they'll be straight up and down like this, rather than on this one on top and like that. Wire color choice is up to you. What color do you want to use? I usually use a color like red or green, maybe even yellow for the main wire to the alternator. In this case, I'm going to use green because I have it. I have this nice, cool old roll of wire. You can see that it's 10 gauge, and I'm going to use that to go from that big post on the alternator all the way back to the battery. Because it's 10 gauge wire, I need a 10 gauge connector, and that means these yellow connectors. All the colors actually mean something on these connectors, and it's for the different size wires. So for 10 gauge, use yellow. And I've got a loop connector that'll fit over that post on the alternator. I'm also going to need to scare up a nut for that alternator because it doesn't have one. I mentioned how the wire on this terminal should have a boot. Where am I going to get a boot? Well, if your wiring harness doesn't already have one, how about a spark plug wire boot? Fits right on there. Just pull it off an old plug wire, run your wire through it, and there's your boot. So now I'm going to make the wire. I don't know how long it's going to be yet. That's okay. Just going to strip the end off, put a connector on it. Beware of the connectors that you use. Some connectors are super cheap and flimsy. This is having a fair amount of current through it. So you don't want something super cheap. Whoops, almost forgot my boot. Would have had to do this over again. Use the yellow scale on the crimper. Done. Nice and tight. So I'm actually going to attach it with a lock washer to the terminal. It's going to help me determine the optimal way of running the wire. So it's loosely attached right now. And you can see there's some danger zones here. We've got exhaust right here, right here. We've got some abrasion risks. So we're going to come from the alternator right into the original harness clips here. See that? I'm going to follow the original harness clips. We've got one there, we've got one right here, and then we've got one there, and it comes right through behind the valve cover. And I'm going to follow that right to the battery. That's actually really nice routing because the battery is right there. So by using the original routing, I don't have to worry about something chafing on this wire. Now note the original wires are still in this car and they're in bad shape. Look at that. Completely bare. Completely bare. So we need to be aware of that. I don't want to be turning on any accessories until I fix those. But enough of that. Let's get back to the alternator. So we have the wire run, this green wire, run all the way to the battery. Next step is what to do with these two posts. Well, the one looking at the alternator on the far left is very simple. You just run it right back to the same exact terminal that this green wire goes to. Super short wire, a couple of inches, 3 inches long. Just run from here with an insulated connector to here. Very simple. Okay? The second wire you're going to run is going to go from the last remaining terminal, which is the one on the right, looking at the front of the alternator. That needs to go to a load when the ignition key is on. So what I'm going to do with that one is, I'm going to run it inside the car, hook it up to a light, which will work very similar to an alternator light, and run that light to the ignition switch when it's in the on position. And I'll show you that once I get this wired up. That's it. That's all we have to do. So this wire to the battery, that wire to a load, which in this case I'm going to use a light, and then this little jumper here. So let me do that and I'll get right back to you. So here's how we ended up. This blue wire is the field wire. This is the load that tells the alternator the engine's running, start supplying voltage. And I run it all the way back through the clips, the same as the green wire. But this time, I run it through the firewall into the car. I'm running it into this light right here that I've mounted under the dash. And then the other side of the light goes, sorry for the darkness in here, to the ignition switch, so that when the key is on, there's voltage going to this light. And this light, when the key is on, should light up. Now it will light up until the alternator starts pushing out voltage, and then it will stop. So it works just like an alternator light. If the alternator stops charging, that light will go on. And there's the green wire that came from the power side, the big terminal on the alternator, through all the clips along the firewall, right to the battery. It's that simple. So let's see if my contraption works. We've got the voltmeter here. We'll check the battery strength. What do we have? 1275. Nice fully charged battery. I'm going to fire this up, and then we're going to see if the alternator is putting out. It should be over 13 if the alternator is putting out. Let me go turn the key on. Key's on. It's very cold out, so I'm going to give this a little prime. But I'm expecting it'll fire right up. All right, so let's check if the alternator is working. Oh yeah, look at that. Perfect. Now, the light should be off inside with this working. You see that we're charging now, so the light is off. That's how you do it. That's simple. Look what Christina discovered. This is super cool. Look at this door compared to that fender in this quarter. Look at that. What she discovered is that this oxidation comes right off. You just put some glass cleaner on it and it comes right off. And underneath is the coolest look. Look at how neat that looks.
I think this is probably some of the best patina I've seen on a car we've gotten. I know people hate when I say that word, or when we say that word.
I don't hate it.
But it really is.
Look at that. Look, it literally wipes off. I've never seen anything like it.
I don't know where this was stored, but it is weird.
Well, it was outside, but you know, I don't know what to say, because here's the actual primer, right? And that doesn't come off.
No.
But this white, whatever this white is, it comes right off. It's some kind of oxidation. Man, that's cool looking.
Yeah.
You put Penetrol over this, it would look amazing.
Well, with the light sand.
A very light sand.
I mean, like, this roughness needs to come off right there. And once it's pretty flat, it would look really, really great.
I may have to add it to the list. But this won't come off, right? Because this is real primer.
No, I think that'll come off.
Really?
It's probably the same stuff that was on this door, and I got it.
Wow, man. I think you're right. I think that just came off. What is this?
I don't know. I wonder if that is the stuff on the hood.
On the roof?
Yeah.
Let's see.
No, that might be primer.
That looks like real primer on the...
I was just curious, but yeah, that looks like real. Or, you know, I did look up the color combination on this car, and it said it was blue with a white top.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
From the
Yep.
Oh, really?
Blue with a white top.
Interesting. Man,
so,
this
I
was
mean,
such
maybe
a
that
sharp
actually might be the white.
This was such a sharp car when it was new. This blue with that white.
That was the color combo.
Wowie. Wow. Now there's some viewers out there that are like, why are you getting so excited about that crappy paint? Because it looks a lot better than that front fender.
Right. Yeah, so that white could be the original top.
Maybe. Maybe. Cool discovery, babe. When I was working on the brakes of the Buick, I promised to show you a tool that can heat up nuts and bolts without the use of a torch. Here it is. I've got this K7's KSO2 1600. A lot of numbers there. This is supposed to heat up bolts and other things without needing a torch. So if you have a nut that's rusted solid and you need to heat it, that's what this thing's supposed to do. Wow. Look at this thing. It's way bigger than I thought it would be. Look at that. I feel like Buck Rogers. So the way this works is you pick the appropriate size of what you want to heat. All different coil sizes here. Those match the size nut you're trying to heat. And plug them into this, turn this on, and it heats them up. So I'm going to try exactly that. So this is a little bit of an unconventional use, but I want to heat the base of this solenoid to see if that center round piece, that tube, can come loose. They don't make a fitting for this, but they give you what they call the free wand, and you just wrap it around it to heat it up. So I'm going to try that. It's a bit of a torture test right out of the box. So it's getting hot right away. I just turned it on. Wow. Once it's heated up, I'm going to put a temperature probe on it. See just how it gets, but it's getting hot. I can see the penetrating oil I put in there bubbling. That's shocking how quickly this got hot. Okay, I think that's as hot as I want it right there. Let's see what the temperature probe says. Wow, 550 degrees, 473. Wow, yeah, that's hot. So here's the test case. I cannot get this off. I've tried, and it's frozen like I can't believe, and it being brass, if I force it too much, it's gonna break. I also really don't want to put fire to it because it'll ruin the bellows of the fuel pump. So how do I get that fuel pump fitting off? I'm gonna try this thing. So it's already hooked up, and I used a size that is a little bigger than the fitting because I want to heat the base. Okay, let's heat this thing up. I'm pressing the trigger. It's got a fan, you can hear that. See it start to smoke? It's starting to get hot. I'm going to keep this on there a good while. Oh yeah, it's getting hot. Okay, let's try it. It worked. It worked. Wow. That wasn't tough at all. This would not move before. I didn't plan this to be a review, but I kind of like this thing. I'm going to be using it. Next up on the Buick is the finish. We got the interior looking pretty nice, but this finish looks awful. So what are we going to do? Well, I've got my friend Bart here, and we're taking light sandpaper to the entire finish. The goal is get all of this gray off of here, some of which is oxidation, some of it is primer. Get as much off as we can to reveal the blue that's underneath. Then we're going to wash it down and we're going to coat it. We're going to coat it with something called Penetrol, which is a very cheap clear coat that I want to show you how to use if you've never experienced it before. I think these colors with Penetrol on them is really going to pop. Why am I doing that? Because a lot of you are going to say, no, that's terrible, don't do that. This car is going to get stored outside, either by me or the next owner. And you got to protect this. This rust, this bare metal has got to be protected. And the Penetrol will do that. And when you're ready to paint it, you just take a sander to it and take it off. So that's why we're doing it. And it's going to look cool to boot. So follow along as we start cutting through all this mess, and it's going to look better and better and better. So here's the process at work. I've got some 400 and some 220 wet or dry, and I'm using the 220 on the really tough rust. And the idea here is not to remove it all, but we need to smooth it out because the top coat is not going to look that great if there's lots of peaks and valleys in the rust, where it will look good if it's relatively smooth. So that's the goal. And as part of that, I want to expose the original color as much as I can. Look at that. That was all gray just a minute ago. It was like this. And we're getting the beautiful old blue back. So here's a quick shot of what it looks like now. And this is just astounding compared to the way it was. It's very dirty right now. We haven't washed it, but it's just astounding. Look at how this looked before. I'm just loving it. The hood is a huge challenge because it's so bad. But if you look at here, this was all gray before. We're DAing the roof because there's not much going on with that roof. It's just white with rust. There's no blue to try to save. And once the roof's done, I'm going to wash the whole car down. And then I'm going to hit it with 400. The parts that haven't been done with 400, wash it again and we'll be done. We are doing the final wash down. We've been through the whole car, washed it down, hit it with 400 where it needed it. We're doing the final wash down to remove any more contaminants. And I'm pretty sure this will be squeaky clean when we're done. And once we're done that, we're going to air dry it. And then we're ready to apply. Okay, one more wipe down. Okay, so here we go. We get the flood. Let's put some in this cup.
Say when.
Yeah, I will. We don't need a lot. And I'm gonna start on the roof, and we'll get back to you. The roof isn't all that fun to watch, but I'll have Bart start filming me on the roof, but the hood is really where it's, and the sides are gonna be where the fun stuff is. So all you do, you dip it in the stuff, and you just wipe it on. I try to go edge to edge. And I can tell you that you don't need a lot. I've done this a bunch of times. You do not need a lot of this stuff. Best not to splash it like I just did, but it runs real easy. So be aware of that. You put too much on, it's gonna run. And it's hard to see the runs because it's gloss. Or it's clear, I should say. It's not glass. So I'm gonna do from here to here since I'm on this step, and then I'll get the back. But in a second, you're gonna see once I get close to the edge, how this stuff looks. You can spray it. You can use a brush. I have used a brush. And I like the sponge best. It's just very forgiving in the application. Now, as you can see, if you look here to here, you can see the difference. But it's not that striking because this is like a gray. It's going to be striking when we hit the blue. Another thing about this stuff is it dries relatively quick as far as application goes. So you can't spend 2 hours putting this stuff on. But to fully dry takes a long time. So you want to try to do the car in less than an hour. And if you can shorten that to half an hour, even better. And if you try to catch the runs, try to catch them early. You wait too long and the run won't come out. Okay, I'm liking that. We'll get back to you when we get to the colors. Yeah, that shot shows a real good view of what it's like. Yeah. That's about the right consistency. I don't see any runs. Just get right here, it's thin. Yep. Beauty. And there's a real good shot right there, with and without. If you see air bubbles, don't worry about them. They work themselves out. It's runs you have to be constantly aware of with this stuff. Oops. Yep, you're good. You can see Bart didn't go back to the well at all yet because the stuff goes a long way. The sponge absorbs it and keeps it going, which is one of the reasons I like the sponge method. You're a pro.
Learn from the best. Thanks, Christina.
Doesn't Hey! Why am I always getting so much grief? Look at how that pops.
This is insane. You see any runs yet?
No, I don't see any runs. Nope. Nope. Once you get done with the hood, we'll go across the front, left to right, and any other edges like that. Yeah, there's a real good shot right there. Man, that looks good. That looks so good. So while Bart's doing the passenger door, I'm doing a run check. Again, very important because this stuff loves to run.
Unlike me.
Yeah, unlike me too. We have not done this fender here, so you see the difference. But the light's really poor right here. I think I'm going to set up some auxiliary lighting on that side. The light's better on this side. Yeah, that looks real good. So these areas of rust that had no paint to save, they will now be better protected. It's not a perfect solution because the rust isn't removed. It's not encapsulated, but it is somewhat sealed. And I can tell you from experience, it helps. I did a 54 Chevy over a year ago and it hasn't rusted a single bit since, and it's been outside the whole time. This is as good a representation of anything of what we're doing here. Look at the difference. It just looks incredible. And you look down the side of the car and man, that's slick. Good form.
Comes out even, that's all.
So just using the edge of the sponge for this, and you can see the sponge is picking up some dirt, which is somewhat inevitable. So I'm gonna, once I get done with these edges, I'm not gonna use that real dirty part of the sponge anymore. Right now I'm just using it for edging. The idea is you don't use a lot of material, but it's like a fine dance. You can't put too little on or it'll be streaky. So you gotta kind of find that sweet spot. Okay, where's our run, like here?
Up. Right in here.
Up, okay. Right. Oh, I see it, right here, yep. Yep, so this whole area here ran. So you all saw me how much I put on there. Wasn't too much, but it ran. So I'm not gonna go back to the well. I'm gonna keep on going with what's on this sponge. So next morning, we're not completely dry yet, but you can see how some of the shine has come out of the finish, which is normal as it dries. But you see there still is shine there. It's really nice, not too over the top shine. The problem is it's streaky. Like right here is a great example. It's streaky. So part of that is the sponge we were using left something to be desired. I think that's the largest part. The other part is we just didn't do a good enough job, frankly. So I'm gonna have to do it again, which is fine. It adds a little more gloss the second time around. But I've done this a bunch of times and it's never come out this streaky before. It's really unfortunate that that happened. So you are witnessing round 2. Why did we do round 2? We just weren't happy with it. It was too streaky. It just didn't look like it can. So we changed a couple of things. We used a wide container and we used a wider sponge. The sponge and the cup we used last night just didn't work for us. So we let this dry 24 hours and then we just finished it the second time and it looks killer. So we've got a bunch more things to do to this car to clean it up. You got to stay tuned because this is going to look even better than it does now in just a few hours. So time's getting short, it's late, and we have to go to publishing tomorrow. But this car is quickly being transformed from what I thought just a few days ago might be a parts car into something that someone could really do some good things with it. This car has gone from near junk to something that I'm pretty sure I can get it off this ramp, drive it around, and look how cool it looks. In the previous video on this car, I talked about how these tires still had the nubs on them. Not only do they have the nubs, the blue is coming off as I clean the white wall. They still had the blue that was on the white wall. Brand new, super expensive Coca Classic tires, never used. Unfortunately, after sitting all these years, they're junk.
Are you putting that on there?
Yeah.
It doesn't match the other ones. Of course, the other ones are Ford.
Yeah, but this is a cool retro spinner. I don't know what this is from, but it's neat. It's got like this gold plastic center, so this must be an old school custom spinner. It probably had a ring around here. And for a car like this, with these white walls and stuff, it's perfect.
So, do you just feel like it has to have some type of cap on it
Yes.
to make it somewhat complete,
Oh, for sure.
even though it's not a Buick?
It's an everything hubcap. I'm loving the spinner.
See, I guess I'm just odd. I would rather just see the orange on all of them.
Yeah.
But I'm a little OCD, so, you know, it doesn't match. So it's...
This interior came out awesome. Compared to the way it was, you couldn't sit in this car. It was too gross. Now we've got a nice chrome dash. Everything's clean. The steering chrome is good. The outside hub is terrible, but you can't clean that away. This just looks so much better. Look at that dash. It's beautiful. Really beautiful. I'm super happy with how this turned out. And here we are. It's done for now. I think it looks amazing. What do you all think? It's shiny. The second coat really did it. That new sponge, the different application container, it really did it. Look at the colors. Look how they pop. It's just, to me, it's fantastic. As I mentioned at the start of the video, there were times, especially when we uncovered how bad the floor was, I figured this car's done. It's a parts car. Now, no way, no way. This can't be a parts car. It's too good. It runs too good. It starts too good. And put some floors in it. But I'm really happy with it. Of course it needs work. Absolutely needs work. But it's a great starter for someone. I just love how it looks now. Look at the chrome. Christina cleaned the chrome up. This can't say enough about it. I mean, this shine on this side, look at that shine. It's a mile deep. And we put it on with a sponge.
Now we have the rest of this trim.
Yes, we have the trim. Look at that shine. Mm-hmm. We have both sides, the sweep spear. And you've all heard this thing run. And I believe I've got the transmission sorted, everything except park. Just loving this car. We got a little carried away with this car. Believe it or not, we're going to launch this video just a few hours from now as we wrap up the work. before we let you go, there's something special that Christina and I would like to say. And that is that this is the video we released right before Thanksgiving, and one of the things that we are thankful for is you. Every subscription, every view is something that allows us to do what we love, to save these old cars. And we couldn't do it without you. So thank you for that. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and until we meet again, have a great day. In today's video, we take our 51 Buick that just a few days ago I was certain was sent. In today's video, we take our 51 Buick, which just a few days ago I was certain was going to be a parts car, and we transform it into something that's really beautiful. What else?
I don't know.
Okay, start again.
Okay, you're on.
Yeah.